it's Vanda, and I'm coming to you with another video today. We're going to do something completely different than what I usually do, because I just feel like yapping about book stuff. And I don't know if this is going to become a regular thing, and if I need to do like a spin-off channel or what. I don't know. I don't know how long this hyperfixation with reading is going to stick around, but excuse me. But for now, it's a thing. And so I just wanted to talk about, I have some bookish unboxing to do, and I kind of wanted to do that and then talk about what I'm currently reading and sort of mention a little bit of the challenge that I'm doing and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to do. So I am subscribed to Book of the Month Club, which I have a referral link down there. I think if you use my link, you can sign up for $5. There's also like codes on the internet that you can look for if you don't want to use my link to save some money. I don't know if the $5 deal is the best deal, so do your research. And also, I'm a member of the Aardvark Book Club, which I just got my box the other day, like, I don't know, like a week ago maybe, and realized I hadn't even opened it. So we're going to open that one together. That's kind of fun. But I do have my book of the month already unboxed. And then I got a package from Barnes & Noble as well, and I don't even remember what I ordered, because that's been sitting around too. So it'll be a surprise for you and me. So and I'm going to look at our book journal. So here's my book of the month. This is the bookmark I got. I have placed enough orders that I am now a friend, which means I get to save $5 on every add-on. I get to pick up to 4 extra books. 5 total, 4 extra books. And then apparently I can choose from member faves in addition to monthly selections. So you have to place 3 orders. And they had a deal also where you could sign up and get like a little bit of a discount if you promised to order, like if you committed to 3 orders. And I was like, well, I've been like really liking the books and stuff. So I did that. And so this was my third box. So now we're quote unquote friends. And then after 12 months, you become BFFs. And I don't know what that entails, but yeah. So I got a pink bookmark to signify that we're friends now. And the first book that I got is called The Shampoo Effect by Jenny Jackson. I've been watching so much BookTube. I'm not as into Bookstagram, although one of my besties, one of my like actual real life friends, is a Bookstagrammer. I'll link her below. She's kind of a big deal. But I've just been like obsessed with BookTube. I've been watching BookTube videos, TBRs, TBR cart videos, TBR jar videos. I haven't gone to where I select a specific TBR each month. I just kind of like decide that I want to read this, or like a library book comes in and I read that. But this is one that like people were talking about, and so it sounded interesting. And the cover is so pretty. I know, don't judge a book by its cover, but also I totally judge a book by its cover. When Caroline Lash arrives in Greenhead, Massachusetts. Oh, this will work for one of my challenges. We got I'm doing the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, 3.0. It just started on the 7th, or the 1st if you prefer to have like very hard boundaries. But I chose to go with the intended start dates. And one of the challenges is to read books not basically set in either the United States or your region of the world, but not like heavily popular. So like I can read books from anywhere except California and New York. If the book is set primarily anywhere else, it's fine. But yeah, anyway. When Caroline Lash arrives in Greenhead, Massachusetts, she falls head over heels for Van Whitaker, a fleece-wearing, litter-collecting, kayak enthusiast with long, floppy hair and the personality of a border collie. Born and raised in this picturesque coastal village, Van runs with the same crowd he did growing up, his ex-girlfriend. Bailey, a beautiful girl who attracts men like moths to a flame, Augusta, old money, horsey and snobbish, and Fran, surrounded by brothers and sons, too fed up with boys to ever consider marrying one. Together the group runs wild through the marshes, beaches, and bars of Greenhead, drinking on houseboats, spending long afternoons sunbathing with their children, and playing games the way they always have. But when Bailey discovers that she's pregnant with Van's baby, the delicate balance of the group's friendship is thrown off. Soon Caroline is cast out of the circle, and what she does next, in a potent mix of fury and heartbreak, exposes long-held secrets and works the entire town of Greenhead into a lather. This sounds so interesting. Also sounds like just drama, but so fun. So fun. I cannot wait. And I don't think I've ever read anything by Jenny Jackson, best-selling author of Pineapple Street. But I don't think, does she have like a list of books that she's written? Just Pineapple? I feel like this person's written more than that, but I guess maybe not. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, this sounded interesting. So this was my main pick. And then I chose a couple add-ons because I couldn't resist. How fantastic is this? It's based on MASH, like, you know, the little thing you did in like junior high, high school or whatever, where it was like mansion, apartment, shack, house. So it's like that kind of nostalgia. Ruby Wynn is a staunch rule follower who lives by the numbers. So when a surprising breakup on her 35th birthday ruins all her well-laid plans, Ruby makes an unexpected wish, only to wake up inside a MASH game from 7th grade. Wouldn't we all like to do that? Like, I feel like I would. Oh my gosh, I don't know actually if I would like to do that. But also, how great does that sound? Settle in a Technicolor mansion, driving a tie-dye Jeep, and running a roller disco restaurant. Ruby is living out her childhood dreams come true, with one exception. According to the game, Ruby's other half is supposed to be Penn Hayes, her brother's annoying and annoyingly handsome best friend. But there's zero romance between them. Just like in real life, all they share is sarcasm, with no, hey, sometimes that's all you need. With no rules to follow, that like hides. Sometimes just sarcasm only hides so much. Anyway, with no rules to follow and desperate to return to reality, Ruby makes her best guess at an escape plan. Win Penn's heart so the game becomes completely true and she can go home. Like, how cute does that sound? I can't wait to read this. Then we have Pretty Dead Things. I didn't really know what this was, but the cover's intriguing. Like, it's all purple and pink and the, like, dying roses. Pageants are where perfection can kill and everyone's dying to win. 2000. Isabel Whitmore vanishes without a trace from Sherman Ranch in Anhalt, Texas. Oh, this is also one that I could probably, unless it ends up being set in New York, also use. As the annual Lone Star Princess pageant looms, old grudges and buried secrets resurface among the women of Anhalt, and all of whom have connections with pageants past. Ingrid returns home for the first time since her sister Isabel vanished, just as the construction crew starts digging up Sherman Ranch. The pageant reopens wounds for Melody, tests Kat's hard-won sobriety, and pushes Sarah Lynn, heir to a pageant dynasty, to her breaking point. When resentments boil over and a record-breaking storm cuts the power, the contestants soon learn that in Anhalt, beauty dies, but secrets never do. Dun, dun, dun. I've never read anything from this author. I haven't read anything from any of these authors. Laura Marie Myers. I don't know if any of these are debuts. Well, this one isn't because she's written something else. And this one isn't either, it looks like. Is this one debut? I don't know. Is this a debut? Is author and journalist. She's originally from Chicago. She lives in Northern California with her husband. Two sons, Smash. Oh, it is her first novel. So we do have a debut. Awesome. So yeah, so those are my 3 books from Book of the Month Club. And I don't know, they had some other ones that sounded really great as well. But because I could only get 3, these are the ones I chose. Like, I added a few of the others too. I don't remember off the top of my head, but kind of to like my mental TBR. So that's Book of the Month Club. And like I said, if you want to join, I do have a link. I think I get like a credit or something, or points, or I don't know what. I don't know. I don't really care. You don't have to use my link. It's just there because somebody once told me to put all my freaking links down there. Let's open up. Let's do the next book unboxing. This I have to open up kind of sneakily because my address is all over. I love the Aardvark boxes though. This is my second Aardvark box. I got one last month as well. And I have purchased 3 books each time. You can do the main book is like, I forget what the main book is. And then you can do add-ons. I think the add-ons are maybe $9.99. And you can choose 2 add-ons. Also, I don't think they have referral codes for members, but if you use, I Googled this because I know that I used a code to join my first time, but if you use code SUMMER, that's the Aardvark Book Club's official promo code, you can get your first book for $4. There's also some influencer codes, so just do a little Google, but Summer is the official Aardvark thing. I think it still works. It worked. I think Summer's the one, it's US only as well, I think, the code. I don't know about other countries. But yeah, so one thing I like about Aardvark is you get like bookmarks and you get all kinds of stuff. So let's just like, I love their box artwork too. It's so cool. I'm going to set this off to the side so we can see. Think inside the box. I don't know which one is the one that I officially picked, actually. But the first one that we have is The Housewife by Natalie Borelli. This just looked interesting. I've never read a Frida McFadden book. Has any of you read a Frida McFadden book? I've heard that they're like, I don't know. They're thrillers, but they're like popcorn. Okay, I had a little work thing. So this one seems like it's going to be kind of like, there's like blood involved. I don't remember. It's listed as a fiction. Well, obviously it's fiction. This cover art is so cool, though. I finally found something that proves what I always knew. He did something to her. Jody has built the life she's always dreamed of. A beautiful home, a respected husband, and the image of the perfect wife. But behind that picture-perfect facade lies an obsession she can't let go of, proving that Roy killed his first wife, Deborah. Dun, dun, dun. Deborah's presence is everywhere. In the stories Roy tells, in the looks the neighbors give, in the house that feels like it still belongs to another woman. Everyone says Jody should be grateful for what she has, but something isn't right. And the closer Jody gets to the truth, the more dangerous her perfect life becomes. But Roy isn't the only one with secrets, and Jody is ready for revenge. Dun, dun, dun. Natalie Borelli lives in Australia, where she's forever dreaming up new ways of killing people and getting away with it. If you're going to do that, at least put it in a story, right? Favorite pastime, reading fabulously gruesome thrillers, otherwise known as research. And when she's not absorbed in the latest gripping page turner, Natalie loves to cook, knits very badly, and spends far too much time on her computer. I love this. I love this about the author. That's so cool. And one thing that's awesome about Aardvark is the books, apparently, oh yeah, they are very soft, are like really nice. And this has like rose gold foiled spine. That's awesome. And one thing that Aardvark does is you can tell it's an Aardvark version because they put an Aardvark in some place everywhere on the cover. Yeah, I can't remember. This was my like main pick, but I had to have it. And then this one is called Long Island Girls by Gabrielle Korn. I didn't really know what this was about, but I loved the cover, so that's kind of why I bought it, or added it on. I think this is has like LGBT representation in it. She's author of Yours for the Taking. I've heard of that book. The shout out to Everyone Else is Perfect, and the former editor-in-chief of Nylon. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. Her writing's been published. Elm, McSweeney's, The Millions, Literary Hub, Domino, Oprah Daily, Refinery 29, and more. Interesting. Interesting. I did not know that. Okay. What if the one that got away kept coming back? The first time Susan and Eliza meet... Oh, there you go. It's 2005, and Susan is barreling down the Long Island Expressway, driving a group of friends to an indie rock show. Eliza is a surprise addition to the back seat, and she doesn't quite fit in. She's a little too pretty, and she doesn't know anything about music, but Susan is drawn to her anyway, until a revelation about Eliza's past tears them apart. 10 years later, Susan is working in Brooklyn's indie music scene when a dating app brings Eliza back into her life. Their chemistry is undeniable, but so is the damage. In the years that follow, as Susan's career rises in a rapid evolving industry, she makes her way toward a more stable kind of romance. She still can't stop wondering what might have been if things have gone differently. And who might Susan become if she can only let Eliza go? Dun, dun, dun. This is exciting. I'm excited about this. I hope it's great. It looks amazing. And then the last book that I got, I got this one. I don't know why. I got this one. I don't know if I chose this one because of a challenge or not, but I loved the sunglasses on the cover. Also, it's a pretty short book. Oh, wait, let's look at the... What does this one have? There's the foiling on that one. These books, like the naked books, are very nice. It's like, it's not leather, but it kind of like has that like leatherette sort of feel to it. I don't know, like fake leather. This is, I think a lot of people in book spaces were talking about Chuck Tingle books and Fabulous Bodies. This one sounded, maybe this is the one that I picked. Gory and outrageous and full of masterful showmanship. This is one spectacle you don't want to miss by C.J. Lead, who also, I think they were the author of one of the books that were last month's Aardvark picks. Poppy Stringer was born to be a star, an aspiring fashion influencer by day. Poppy moonlights as a grave robber to make ends meet, wheeling and dealing dead bodies across Palm Springs. When her hero, the flamboyant piano-slamming rock star Eddie Michaels, unexpectedly dies, Poppy gets a call to retrieve his body from the medical examiner's office for a lucrative sum. It could be the last job she'll ever need if everything goes to plan. But the night's delivery quickly veers off course when Eddie wakes up. Oh my god. Now Poppy must fight for her life if she happens to survive this blood-soaked joyride of carnage and fabulous entertainment. I'm so intrigued. This, I think, part of the reason I wanted this one is that there's a challenge, the hard reading. There's a side quest, and you have to read like a teal or turquoisey book, and this will fit for that. So that's why I got that one. Also, it just sounded interesting. And Aardvark also gives you a bookmark for every book. My coping mechanism has an ISBN. And then it looks like that. And then there's a July card. What is this? July member challenge. Happy summer, Aardvarkians. This month we challenge you to share a picture of an Aardvark book outside. Tag us on socials at Aardvark Book Club for the chance to win a free credit. Deadline July 28th at 5 p.m. Oh, that's cool. I could totally do that. So yeah, so these are the offerings for this month. Fabulous Bodies, The Housewife, Long Island Girls. Those are the ones I chose. Die For Me also sounded really interesting. I think it's like kind of a vampire-y book, but it's also like, I don't remember the setting, but it just sounded, I can't remember if it was like Harlem or if it was like Louisiana or something, but it just sounded so interesting. I can't explain it very well, so I don't want to butcher it. Then Every Version of You. This one didn't really speak to me, but then I started reading about it all over the place. I'm like, oh, actually, that does sound really good. And then Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep has a really interesting cover. And I think it's more of a sci-fi sort of book, sci-fi horror. I don't know if this would be for me, but it seems interesting as well. So, but these are the three that I chose for the Aardvark book. Aardvark, I feel like Book of the Month does like more like, I don't know, more overall friendly to a wider group of audience. And then like Aardvark, I think appeals to like people that like thrillers and like crazy stories. Like they're a little more unhinged. I feel like, I think one of the first times I heard about them, they had done, I don't think it was last month. It was the month before. I read a book called The Caretaker by Marcus Cleaver. I think it's Cleaver. I think the W is pronounced like a V. And it was one of their offerings, and I loved that book. And then I was like, okay, I'm signing up. So that's why I chose to sign up for that. So that's that. That's Aardvark. I've yapped so long. I apologize if this is not your thing, but if it is your thing, thank you for sticking around. So I'm looking forward to reading those. When? I would like to say soon, but I also just like have so many book plans to do. Yeah, so interesting. And then I have, I don't remember what these are. I think these are books that I got to add to my shelf for the challenge I'm doing. You don't have to buy books for that challenge. Some of them I just want to have on hand because I'm a mood reader. Oh yeah, these are those. This one was a recommendation. Apparently it's part of the Reese's Book Club, but some book people that I watch were talking about it. And also I guess the TV show just came out. So it's a Reese Book Club and it's an Apple TV show. And they just interviewed the author. If you watch book things and you watch Chris and Mads, they're the ones that kind of talked about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of want that. So I grabbed a copy of it. And then this one, The Lamb, this is really crazy. Margot and Mama have lived by the forest ever since Margot can remember. When Margot is not at school, they spend quiet days together at their cottage, waiting for strangers to knock on the door. Strays, Mama calls them. People who have strayed too far from the road. Mama loves the strays. She feeds them wine, keeps them warm, then she satisfies her burning appetite by picking apart their bodies. But Mama's want is stronger than her hunger sometimes, and when a beautiful white-toothed stray named Eden turns up in the heart of a snowstorm, Margot must confront the shifting dynamics of her family, untangle her own desires, and make her bid for freedom. With this gothic coming-of-age tale, debut novelist Lucy Rose explores how women swallow their anger, desire, and animal instincts, and wrings the relationship between mother and daughter until blood drips from it. This is so crazy. This book sounds so crazy. I like dark books, in case you couldn't tell. But I got this one because one of the Hercule challenges is food pyramid, and you have to pick books with like protein and fruits and vegetables and grains and stuff like that, like parts of the food pyramid onto on the book cover. And this obviously counts as protein. Plus, it sounds super interesting. So I was like, yeah, I need it. I need it in my life. So those are the two Barnes & Noble books I just recently got. And then as for what I'm currently reading, I'm not reading anything on my Kindle right now. I do have a couple of arcs that I got through NetGalley that I need to read, that I just haven't been reading because I've been reading other things. So Kindle's getting a little break. I read a couple of books. I was doing a couple Fable read-alongs, Fable book clubs, but I was reading too many other things and didn't get a chance to read those books. So the two books I'm currently reading right now are Everything Was Beautiful, Nothing Hurt by Ben Reeves. This book, I'm only 40 pages in because I was finishing... I had an arc with Book Sirens that I signed up for that I had to get read and reviewed. And so I did that. And now I can focus on this. But I picked this up the day... excuse me. It came out on the 7th, I think. And I went to the bookstore that day on my lunch break. It was like, I need this book. I need it. I need it. I need it. The premise is so interesting to me. And I got 3 pages in and started tearing up. This book is going to break me. I think I've teared up like 3 or 4 times in 40 pages. Travis's death in the modern world. He lives with his cat in a small gray town. His job is to offer people comfort in their final hours of life, which he does without complaint or judgment. He's stoic, gentle, and a little naive, despite who he is, but he never tries to change anyone's fate. He is responsible for maintaining the balance of nature, and every life must eventually end. Then Travis meets Dahlia, a midwife, and her boisterous 8-year-old daughter Layla, who live across the hall. Despite his best attempts to keep his distance, Travis finds himself wholeheartedly embraced by other people for the first time. So it is with this seemingly unremarkable family that Travis begins to understand what it means to be truly alive, and therefore what might be irrevocably lost in death. And it's beautiful so far. Unless something like really goes off the deep end, this is going to be a 5-star for me. I'm also a generous 5-star giver. I I've started using a tracking sheet that kind of like calculates ratings on like 6 different criteria, and to get a more to get a better read than just like, I finished it, I love it, it's 5 stars. It makes me think about each of these pieces of the story and be like, well, I didn't really like these characters, or these characters weren't for me, so I'm going to rate this a little lower. I almost always rate the characters 5s because I almost always love the characters. And like the setting and the plot and the emotional impact of the story and just general enjoyment. Like usually my star ratings were just general enjoyment, but there's so much more into it. And I'm trying to be a little more critical. I'm still really generous with my numbers, but I'm trying to be a little more critical because I do tend to just go into everything being like, I liked it, it was great. Like, and sometimes like maybe that's not the best way to approach it. Like, not that I'm trying to be like a book influencer. I'm not trying to do that. But I would just like to like sit with why I liked the book or what I disliked about the book or and so yeah, but I think this is going to be a 5-star across the board because this is just immediately out of the gate. And then because the 6th book in the ACOTAR series comes out the day before my birthday, and one of the local bookstores is doing an event that I still have to sign up for, I decided that I'm going to read the series. Picking up ACOTAR 1 was one of the things that sort of helped kickstart my reading adventure in March. It wasn't the catalyst, but it was something that I was like, I found it in I was cleaning and I found it. I was like, oh, I should read this. So I did, and I enjoyed it. I haven't read Throne of Glass yet, and I think it was very highly suggested for spoiler and plot points for the ACOTAR 6 to read the Crescent City trilogy, so I have a lot of reading on my hands if I want to actually catch up before book 6 comes out. So yeah, so I'm on book 2. I'm only like 100 and something pages in. Yeah, I'm 100 pages in. And when people found out I was reading ACOTAR, they were like, oh, you're reading smut. I'm like, literally, ACOTAR 1 has, like, no smut. Like, there's, like, there's a few scenes, like, but not until the end. And I feel like they're tame compared to what, like, most people consider smut. So, like, whatever. This one, though, kind of started out of the gate a little bit. Like, chapter 2, we got some stuff going on. So, yeah, so this might be a little more smutty now that everything's, like, it just didn't require it in the first book, I feel like. And I don't think, it's not necessarily, I would say, required anywhere, but, like, the first book didn't need it. We were introducing the characters, introducing the story. Now that things are rolling, I can see where it would come into play more. But, yeah, like, I feel like it wasn't, like, truly, completely, like necessary until the 200-page mark or whatever. Like, people are just like, oh, you're reading smut. I'm like, literally, nobody's even kissed. What are you talking about? No, but yeah, so anyway, so I'm reading this now. And now that I've finished my arcs, I finished other challenges that I was doing, I can focus on these 2. And, oh no, did I get something on here? Oh, that makes me so sad. Oh, I think I fixed it. But yeah, so I can focus on these 2. This is a pretty short book, but I'm doing this. This counts for one of my Herkid prompts, and it also counts, I'm doing the big book challenge, which is to read books over 400 pages. And, a couple of the offshoot, challenges are, I did the main challenge, which was in June, read a big book. I read, I think The Poet Empress counted based on the pages and story graph, but I think not really. But then I read East of Eden, which definitely counted because that was like 600 pages. So now I'm reading this one, which has like, I don't even know how many pages, like 600 pages, 626. Well, that's part of the acknowledgements, but I usually read the acknowledgements because I'm interested. So, okay, 624 if I don't want to read the acknowledgements. But yeah, so this is my big book. I've got 2 weeks to read it, and then I want to finish this one. This also counts for a couple of my Herkid challenges. Should I do a video about Herkid, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do? I I feel like I have it listed, but I don't feel like it's actually very organized for like sharing what I want to do. So I don't know, maybe if you're interested. I don't even know if book stuff is like your thing. If book stuff is not your thing and you're still here, thank you for watching. If book stuff is your thing and you're still here, thank you for watching. If you skip this video, well, you won't see this, but I don't blame you. So yeah, so these are the two things I'm focusing on now. I also have audiobook from the library, so I've been reading this and listening to it all at the same time, to kind of like have it be read to me, but also reading it, because sometimes that helps. How do you feel about audiobooks? Are you an audiobook nerd? I never liked audiobooks, and then I did a challenge in 2019, and I read like 60 books that year, and I read 60 books mostly because of audiobooks, but a lot of times I tune them out, and I feel like if I am listening to an audiobook, I give it a lower rating, and it's not the book's fault. It's just the fact that I'm reading it in audiobook, and I usually mention that in all of my reviews. Like, this feels like a low number, and I think it's because it's audiobook. I actually won a giveaway, a Storygraph giveaway from Veronica Roth, Seek the Traitor's Son. It's like a first book in a new duology, and it's like a chunky book. The audiobook is like 19 or 20 hours, and I'm like halfway through it, and I just like can't keep up with it, and it's because it's audiobook. So I requested the book from the library, and I felt bad about DNFing it. I did DNF it, and I felt bad about that because I wanted it in a giveaway, and I really wanted to like read it, enjoy it, and listen to it, enjoy it. But I'm just not, and I'm tired of, I've been forcing myself the whole time to like keep going on it, and I just can't do that anymore. So I DNF'd it for now, and then I also requested the book from the library. I was gonna buy it, and then I'm like, if you're not enjoying the audiobook, maybe you won't enjoy the book, so let's let the library do its job. So I requested it. It's on hold from the library, or I'm on the hold list for the library, the wait list for the library. So when that comes in, I will read it in physical format and also listen to the audiobook, and then be able to hopefully enjoy it better and give it a rating, give it a review. So yeah. I've yapped a lot about books right now. That's just what I'm excited about. That's what I've been doing. Reading takes energy, but I don't have to do anything. I don't have to like pull out a notebook. I don't have to pull out pens. I don't have to find a desk space. I can grab my Kindle. I can grab my phone. I can grab whatever. Speaking of phone, I need to make sure my phone is charging because I don't want this to die in the middle. Okay, we're charging. Yeah, so this is my book journal. Well, it's my journal. This is my journal. This is a sticker release paper that I actually haven't put stickers in. I was going to put stickers in just so I have them when I'm journaling, but I haven't done that yet. So it's just in here taking up space, but I like the way this feels with 3 books in it better than I like it with 1 or 2. So it stays in here. And I think maybe this weekend, maybe today, I have a few extra hours after work. Maybe I will start transferring some of my empty or close to empty sticker sheets and sticking them in here so I have them. But this is my book journal. This is my book journal. And I just like, I ordered some washi tape paper from Amazon, and so like this one I accidentally flipped it and didn't realize it till I cut it out. I'm like, I'm not redoing it. This was the first audiobook, and you can see I rated it 3 stars. This book fell prey to my inability to listen to audiobooks. I thankfully, like the last 20 or 30% of the book, I was like on a walk, and so I was paying attention to it more. Maybe I can't listen to audiobooks while I'm doing like work and stuff. But yeah, so Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I gave 5 stars. The Betrayal of Anne Frank, Astral Library. I loved this. I didn't like the main character, but somebody grabbed this when I was at the book event at the bookstore for The Book Thief, and somebody grabbed this, and I could not stop thinking about it. So I found on their website that they still had it in stock, and I went to the store and I picked it up. I just went to the store and like looked around, couldn't find it actually, picked like 3 more books, and then as I was leaving, I saw it on, like, I paid for those books. I didn't ask because they were like, they were like talking and working, and I didn't want to interrupt what they were doing. It sounded kind of important, and I just didn't want to interrupt them. So I ended up, I was about to leave, and then I saw it on the shelf by the door, and I was like, oh, actually, here's one more. So then they rang me up and did that. Then Wild Dark Shore, again, suffered from being an audiobook. I still gave it 4 stars, mostly because the ending. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck was kind of, again, background noise. The Caretaker, this is the one. Like, look, I read so much about this book. I'm kind of hiding it because I don't want to, like, spoil anything. But this book was just insane. In actual sane. I heard about it on, I think, Emily Fox's BookTube site. And she just, like, couldn't stop raving about it. I'm like, the premise sounds so interesting and creepy and weird, and I have to read it. So I got it. I pre-ordered it, actually. And then this was so good, and everybody was like, oh my God, We Used to Live Here is so good. So I picked it up from the library. And then I listened to Broken Country, again, 3 stars because it was an audiobook. I just didn't. Also, kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it dragged. This was another audiobook. I don't remember how I found this one. I think it was through Goodreads. It sounded interesting. This is a book about a teenager. They're in like a therapy group or something. I don't remember exactly, but again, audiobook, so it kind of suffered from that. This is also like a YA book, and as much as I liked YA books in like 2019, I guess I've like kind of strayed from that, and I don't enjoy them as much. The Bookbinder's Secret, I loved this book. I hugged this book when I was finished with it. This was a library book. I need to buy my own copy so I can hug it whenever I want to. This is another debut author, and I'm going to, if they write another book, I'm going to pick it up immediately and hope it's as good as this one. Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. This is one of my favorite authors. I read her book Garden Spells. I think I just like randomly found it at a bookstore and was like, this looks interesting. And I picked it up, and I just fell in love with her writing. It's like magical realism and and I just loved the world she created so much. Hold on, my cord is like wrapped around something, so it's not working. Okay, we're plugged in again. Sorry about that. And I just loved it. But this is one that I just never read. It came out like when I wasn't reading, and so picked it up from the library. She's got another book coming out September 1st. I've already pre-ordered it. It's called Paper Ghosts. I just love her writing. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The only other book I think that I've read. Did I spit on my journal here? The only other book I think that I've read from her is the 7 Lives of Evelyn Hugo. Is that what it's called? 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I loved that. Oh no, I also read Daisy Jones and the Six. I read Daisy Jones and the Six, then I read Evelyn Hugo, and then now I've read Atmosphere, and I loved it. Beautiful, beautiful story. Especially because when I read it, it was right around the time that like Artemis 2 was like doing their thing. I think it was just after, right after. Small things like these. I picked this up because Jack Edwards, another book influencer, he had an interview with Cillian Murphy around the time of like Peaky Blinders coming out, and or at least that's when it popped up on my feed. I don't know if that's when the interview was, but this is one of his favorite books, and he was in the movie, which I didn't realize was a movie. So picked this up from the library, loved it. It's Not Her by Mary Kubica. This is a thriller, and I literally could not stop reading this. I could not put it down. It was amazing. I only gave it 4 stars. It wasn't like amazing, but like there were things that I didn't like about it, but I just like couldn't. This is the first book I've read by her, and I just could not stop reading it. Like, I love thrillers and scary things. The Poet Empress. I picked this up because somebody in Simone's Discord had posted about it, and I was like, that is a beautiful cover, and it sounds interesting. And I read it, 5 stars. I actually picked it up from the library Didn't get around to reading it. Had to return it because it was on hold and I couldn't hold it. And then my other library was getting it. They had ordered it. So I put myself on the hold list and I was the first person to read it. Beautiful, beautiful book. Do I kind of wish I had it? No, I'm okay with it being a library book, but it was beautiful. I definitely recommend reading it. Yesteryear was like, that was a crazy trip. East of Eden, I read this and listened to it on audiobook. And got through it kind of fast. I did this for a Goodreads challenge, but also the Big Book challenge. Devotions and Selected Poems of Mary Oliver. I kind of like breezed through that. I gave it 5 stars, but it's an anthology of poems. Like I didn't know how to rate it, so I just did that. Disco Witches of Fire Island. I read that for a Goodreads challenge. It was like the Kindle book was like $1.99 or something like that, and it still looked crazy. It was beautiful. It was lovely. It was crazy. It's about this character. It's about this. It's set in the like the late 80s, early 90s when like AIDS is like, becoming a thing, and it's just like like really scary. It starts in New York. The main character is like in New York, and he and his like bestie go to this place called Fire Island, which I think is also New York. That's where like a lot of like rich gay people like would go for the summer. I think it's an actual place, but I think this story was fictionalizing the place, but I think it is an actual like area, or was still. I don't know if it's still, but anyway, it's about these people, and like crazy stuff happens, and like the people that like basically live there, they like run the bar and they clean the hotels and they do all this stuff and but they're also like witches, and so they have to like save this. They're looking for this person that they have to save, and anyway, it was beautiful. I loved it. Lady Tremaine. This, I was like halfway through the book before I realized this was a Cinderella retelling. Like it just did not even click with me, because I never really paid attention to Cinderella's stepmom's name. She was just always like the evil stepmother. Anyway, I loved it. Alice Feeney, my husband's wife. I feel like Alice Feeney books, at least on BookTube, are like pretty polarizing. I really enjoyed this one. I couldn't put it down. It took me a little while to read it because I was doing other things, but like I really couldn't stop reading it. Where Magic Begins is a YA novel that it's about these girls. They're twin sisters, but they like have witchy powers, and one has like witchy powers to like glamour herself and make herself beautiful, make everybody like her, and the other sister doesn't have that, and she's kind of like meh, but she's in a band, and she's like kind of like, one's like the bubbly sister and the other's like the moody sort of sister. And yeah, I won this in a Storygraph giveaway, so I wanted to read it. It's a trilogy, and the books are available on Kindle Unlimited, so it was kind of like whatever. Again, it's a YA, so it's kind of whatever. I rated it 4 stars mostly because I really liked the end. I kind of didn't see it. I kind of saw it coming, but I kind of didn't see it coming. And I was like, meh. It wasn't the best book I ever read, but Out of the Woods was like a 95-page book that I read for a Goodreads challenge. I didn't really like it. It was weird. All throughout the story, it was just weird. It kind of reminded me of The Witch, the movie The Witch. It wasn't like that's what I kept picturing in my head, is like as far as the setting was concerned. I don't remember if that's like how it was supposed to be, but that's just like the vibe I got. But I just didn't like it. There were a lot of like extra characters for being such a short story that I just feel like didn't really like they had an ending where I don't think they needed one. Anyway, it was just a weird book. Like, I'm glad I read it. There's a lot of like LGBT rep in it, and I thought that was cool, but like meh. If it weren't for the Goodreads challenge and it being such a short book, I wouldn't have read it. Mad Mabel, I loved this. I freaking loved this. There's a lot of stories, a lot of books, a lot of new releases that have come out where like the main characters like in their 60s or 70s or 80s, they're like on the older side of life, and we're going back and sort of revisiting some of their like the things that have happened that have brought them to where they are. Mad Mabel was it's set in Australia, and she was like the youngest serial killer ever, youngest person ever convicted of being a serial killer or whatever. And you kind of go through like her life and like what led to all these moments. And it was, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was just it was a beautiful story. I loved it. My Sister the Serial Killer. So this is where Herkyed starts, and I am documenting by highlighting that this is part of Herkyed and what number of book is read. So this was book 1 and 2 for prompts familial term, and sister was in the title, and then regional. This was set in Nigeria. So Nigeria is considered West Africa according to the internet. It was a 4-hour audiobook. Oh, I didn't put a rating. I have to check what my rating was. It was probably like 3 stars because it was an audiobook. But yeah, yikes on bikes. Like, this story is like, it tells like the story of like how far family goes for each other. But also, like, I feel like the one sister should have bonked the other sister on the head. It was just like wild. None of this is true. This was also a crazy book. I bought this at Half Price Books. I went to Half Price Books the other day. Not the other day, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And was just browsing around, and this one popped up, and I was like, I've never read it. Some people had been talking about Lisa Jewell, and I'd never read any. Well, I had read back in 2019 one of her books that I didn't remember, but another thriller, and I couldn't put it down. I just could not stop reading it. The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. I love this series. I'm only 2 books in, and I just adore it. I adore Emma so much. She gives me so much life. She's so witty and silly and sarcastic, and oh my gosh, I love it. I've only read the first 2 volumes, but I love them. This was my 3rd and 4th book. This counted for one of the secret prompts, which was a title with the full name, and also the character to author challenge. So the main character's name is Emma M. Lyon, and to author is going to be Emma Brody, and I'm going to read Into the Blue, which will count for another challenge. And then one of the characters in Into the Blue is named AJ, so then I have to turn that into another author, and I chose AJ Finn, who wrote A Woman in the Window, which is a book that I DNF'd, and reading it this time will count towards another part of the Herkyed challenge. So kind of just like doom, doom, doom. But I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was a little slow in a couple of spots for being only a 100-page book, but beautiful, 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 beautiful. Then I read volume 2. This one took me longer because I was reading other things, and I just wasn't sitting down and reading this. I actually, the day that I was going to sit down and read it, I ended up actually going to bed at a reasonable hour. Yeah, I slept 8 hours for the first time in forever. And then the next day I played a video game instead of reading. So there were 2 nights where I didn't get to read this. So that's part of the reason it took so long to read a 150-page book. 60 Songs That Explain the 90s, another Herkyed book. This was also a Goodreads challenge, because they have a thing. One of the challenges was like, I forget what the challenge was for, but this fulfilled one of their Goodreads prompts. But this is book 5 and 6 for Herkyed. Choose Your Own Party, Bard, because it's a book about music, and then numerical titles. They have the full prompt is from titles with numbers from 1 to 10 in it. And then the 11th choice is a random number. So this has 60 and the 90s. So that counted for random. I loved this book. This was just was it an amazing book in the fact and like what it was telling? Probably not. Like if I wanted to rate it more harshly, I probably could. But I just loved the trip down memory lane, the nostalgia. The music of the 90s is like, that's my time. I wrote a quote from the book. The music you loved as a teenager is the sweetest music you'll ever hear. That music will be, in all likelihood, the greatest, wildest, purest love affair of your whole life. And how true is that? Like, yeah, as adults, we like discover music. And if you have children, you like discovering their music. Or like, just like pop radio if you listen to that, or Spotify randomness or whatever. Like, you are exposed to music, but like nothing beats the music you listen to as a teenager. Like that whole, where it's like your whole entire world, your whole personality. Like it's still like mine is Green Day. I discovered Green Day when I was 13. They're my jam. When I moved to California, I was like, oh my God, what if I go to Oakland and I run into them on the street? Like, that's never happened one single time, but like Oh my God, what if it did? What if it did? Like, and they had a chapter or like a section that mentioned Green Day, and there's a section that mentioned like rap and like hip hop, and there's a whole section of like women in rock, like Cranberries and like Sarah McLachlan, and like it was just like literally just like all the music I listened to as a teenager. It was fantastic. Even the music that I didn't listen to but was still exposed to because I was an MTV girl, so I like listened to all of it. The Odyssey by Homer. This is the Stephen Fry reimagining, retelling, whatevering. I read this with, I need to put that in here. I read this with Chris and Mads. They're doing for July, they're doing a whole big Odyssey along. So we read this in the first half of the month, and then the movie comes out this week, actually. And then part of our like sort of like group activity is to like go see the movie. Not really like group activity, but like to see the movie. So I'm actually seeing the movie tomorrow. And then the second half of the month, we're reading Emily Wilson's translation of it. I have the book. I have the physical book, but I haven't started reading it yet. So that's going to be interesting. I might see if I can get my hands on the audiobook for that as well. Just because having the audiobook for this really helped. So we'll see. Shadow of the Veil. This was an ARC that I received. This is the ARC that I had to finish from Book Sirens. It's by Linda Ray. I guess she does like children's book and like young adult books and stuff like that. This is a young adult story. This was so interesting. The main character is a 17-year-old girl. She suffers from nightmares. And and they're like, she dies in her nightmares all the time. And so they go on this. So she like, the book starts, she's like visiting her psychiatrist. They're like trying to get her meds, or like, is she going to be okay on this trip? Like there's trigger warnings for self-harm and things like that. But just like teenagers going through stuff sort of things. And I thought the teenager aspect of it was really written really well. She has like the attitude of a teenager, the anxiety of a teenager, just like everything is like amplified part of teenager life. Like everything is like the biggest deal ever. And I thought she was written really well. I loved going through. There was a bit of time travel and stuff, and like they're on their vacation and certain things trigger certain things, and I just thought it was beautiful. And I wasn't sure how I was going to like it, but I really did end up liking it. I gave it a 4.25. And yeah, there was like one of the sections was like kind of really slow, and I felt like a little repetitive and maybe didn't need to be as long as it was, but like overall super fun. And this is going to be, I'm not sure if it's going to be a series or a trilogy, but this book, I don't know, according to Amazon it came out in June, but like, according to Book Sirens it comes out in September, so I'm not really sure if it's been released yet or when it's been released. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I look forward to maybe getting my hands on the other ones at some point. And then the last book that I finished was Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I read this for a Storygraph genre challenge, and the prompt was to read a YA book by a Latinx author. And this, I remember people talking about this a while ago, and so this is one that like, I looked at the list of books that were already there, and this one sounded the most interesting. I was like, oh sure, another YA book, sure, why not? So I read this one. I'm not the target demographic for this series, and there were some points. Again, it was also an audiobook, a very high rating for an audiobook. I tried not to let the audiobookness of my reading format deter me from giving it a better rating. But yeah, it's about this trans boy that like his family is like, I don't think it's his whole family, but like there's like witchery in his family line, and like after a certain age you become a brujo. But because the Yadriel is his name, because he's trans, it like his parents are like really like, you can't do that, da, da, da. And like there's a lot of growth in the book. There's a lot of struggle and angst, and there's like cute little like, you know, little romance, and there's like, it was just really cute. And I really liked the author. I believe is non-binary. I could be wrong, but I believe they're non-binary, which puts them as part of the trans umbrella. I believe the narrator is also trans. If not trans, they are LGBTQ, blah, blah, blah. And there was just like the representation in here was really great for that, and it just felt real. Like, maybe not the witchery and the witchcraft and the, you know, the mysticism and all that, but like just like the struggles and like what they go through, and like trying to get people to like respect them as who they are instead of who other people think they are. Just like, it just felt really real. Like, if somebody tells you who they are, you listen to them, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel very strongly about all this, and I just thought it was really beautiful. I didn't cry at it, although I probably could have in a few spots, mostly because I was just listening to it on audiobook. But like, the just struggles felt real, and there was a lot of growth between Yadriel and his family, and because Yadriel sort of does this thing that they don't think he can do because he's not a real boy, and there's just a lot of growth, and that like touched me the most. I think there's a lot of growth in here, and I just thought it was really beautiful. And apparently it's like, I don't know if it's a duology or a series, but apparently there's a second one coming out, and I'm kind of excited about it. So that's what I've read so far. 35 books. I've counted a couple, like if I've read them on audiobook and in a different format, I counted them as both, because I don't know, that just makes sense to me. Maybe I won't do that next year, but it makes sense to me because I'm consuming it in two different formats. So I'm reading an audiobook and I'm reading a paperback or an ebook or a hardcover, and that counts as two books for me. Like, they're different formats. An audiobook is a book and a paperback is a book, and even though it's the same book and I'm reading it at the same time, I'm still counting that as two books. So I think my actual count is maybe like 32 or 33, but because I've got the extra formats in there, it's currently 35 read. And we've got 36 and 37 right here. My Goodreads goal was 12 when this year started, and I didn't read anything in January, February, or March. Well, I started reading the first book in March, but I don't think I finished it till April. Yeah, I started it in March, but I didn't finish it till April. And that took me a long time, too, because I was just listening to it at work as background noise. So that's my book. That's all my book stuff. And I'm also thinking about doing, because I've been watching all this BookTube content, and I love the bullet journal style scrapbooky book journals that people have. I'm toying with the idea of doing one of those. And if I do, that might be a fun video. This isn't going to become a book channel, but I figured since that's kind of what I'm interested in, and I've had some like, share all the book content comments, that mostly from one person, but I thought I'd share it. So yeah, so there's me, there's my books. That's what I'm doing when I'm not playing with pens, which is not much of anything lately. I don't have energy for video games, basically. I force myself to Twitch stream because that's a thing that I like doing, and I am forcing myself to like do that on some days. I've been skipping days, but like I have been forcing myself to play a game on Twitch. Link below in the description if you want to follow me or hang out. Yeah, I've been forcing myself to do that, but I don't play games outside of that, and I don't do pen stuff outside of this. Basically, this is the most consistent thing. This and the planner that I primarily use at work, my cousin. These are like the most consistent things that I have. And I haven't been using the journal so much. I did. The last couple days I've been journaling in here. And I haven't kept up with my 5-year at all. That's sitting right here. I have to go back and like, I don't know, if nothing else, write about my books. I've got like the last few days done, but most of June is just blank. And I don't want pages to be blank. So even if I just say I was too busy this day to write in here, like that, I want the space to be filled out. So that's that. journal content, book content. If you watched any of this video, this is an hour. Why is this an hour long? I'm sorry that I yapped for an hour, but if you enjoyed this and just enjoyed hanging out with me, thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. If you want more book stuff where I hopefully don't yap quite as long, let me know. This is going to be like a 20-30 minute video until I went through my book journal. But yeah, I kind of got the idea for my book journal. It's not the same format as Simone, but I sort of, yeah. And I mostly print the stickers out on washi paper. The couple, like this one, I only had a couple books, so I just used my sprocket to print the book covers out for those. Because I had this one and I had a couple of other books that I just got, and I didn't want to wait until I had a full sheet of washi sticker paper filled out, because that's what I do. I just create a Word document and then I fill it up with book covers. Either stuff that I've seen people talking about that I want to read, or books that I have read, or like I've been getting these arcs in and stuff like that. So I create a full sheet of stickers and then I cut them out because I don't want to waste it. I did like a third of a sheet once, and then I tried to use the last half of it and it got stuck in the printer and wouldn't work. So I don't want to do that again. I don't want to waste washi paper. It's like A4 size sheets, so I don't want to waste it. So I have to make sure that I really get a page full. So yeah, so I think this one's oh, and I keep the book covers in this pouch back here. So like I'm gonna eventually read the Throne of Glass series, so I cut all those book covers out. These are all the in-depth books. Here's my Emma. I was resizing these. I just copy and paste the book covers in Word and then print that. And I guess I thought I had them sized the same. So some of them are really small, but I just didn't want to waste them. So I'm just going to use them. And so that's why some of these covers are smaller than others. But then, but yeah, like this is like actually the perfect size. So I have to figure out how to make my Word document, make them all the same size, because I don't want to go through like photo sticker paper. That's way too expensive. The pack of washi paper I got was like $10 for 10 pages, or $8 or $9 for 10 pages. I only got the small pack because I wasn't sure if I was going to use it or how that was going to go, but I have been using it quite a bit. So once that runs out, I might get a bigger pack and just have it on hand. So yeah, so that's it. That's me. That's my books. That's my books. My journal books, my book books. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for listening to me yap for an hour. If you did, if you didn't, thank you for moving past this. And yeah, let me know what you're reading in the comments if you would like to share that. If you're a reader. If you're not a reader, you could say that as well. Let me know what you're writing with. As always, I always want to know about that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's have a discussion in the comments. And yeah, thank you for listening to me yap. I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Love you. Bye. Oh, also, let me know in the comments if you like this kind of stuff. If you want more book stuff, let me know. If the book stuff starts taking over, maybe I'll spin off into a second channel. But for now, I don't feel like I need. I don't want to keep up with 2 YouTube channels. Essentially, is the problem. So if it seems like the book stuff might be something that's taking over, then we can sort of rethink that. But for now, I think we're just going to do everything here. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and for listening. And I hope you enjoyed whatever you were doing in the background while I was yapping. And I will see you again very soon. For real this time. Take care. Love you. Bye.